Hey, what's up guys? Josh here, and you might be thinking, why is the tech YouTuber, filmmaker, video editor guy showing us knife skills and how to cook? Well, the truth of the matter is I think everyone should know how to cook, and I think everyone should have knife skills and know how to handle a knife safely, because not only does it keep you from cutting off your fingers, it makes cooking way easier and just faster. So before we get to chopping the onion, let me give you a little primer on how to handle a knife. And today we're using this beautiful Damascus Santoku with an ironwood handle from QSP, who provided this for this demonstration. It came from the factory, razor sharp. It's just been a really great knife to use. And you might be wondering, what is Damascus steel? Damascus steel is where you take two different steels and you fold them together to get this beautiful pattern. There isn't anything inherently better about Damascus steel. It just makes for a really beautiful knife. And if you're interested in any of the geeky stuff, like the composition of the blade, hardness, tang, all that kind of stuff, I'll drop that in the description below, along with a link to where you can buy one yourself. Now, if you are shopping for a Damascus knife, be aware that there are imitation Damascus knives out there that just kind of have etchings on them, kind of like this one. This is just purely for decoration, has nothing to do with the composition of this steel. So just be aware of that. On a real Damascus knife, you can usually take your fingernail and just kind of drag it across the surface, and you'll feel kind of a texture between layers. Now, when you first get your knife, there's going to be a little bit of oil on it just to keep it from rusting during storage and shipping. So just get a soft brush with a little bit of dish soap, warm water, and just wash that off and you're good to go. Same procedure every time after you use your knife. Wash it and dry it thoroughly so it doesn't get any spots or rust. Never, ever, ever submerge your knives in the sink or put them in the dishwasher. The dishwasher will just absolutely destroy a nice knife. So if you bought, say, a knife block set, it probably came with one of these. Now, this is a honing steel. Now, this is to bring your edge back into alignment, not sharpen it. So what happens is, as you use your knife, the edge is going to kind of come out of alignment and it's not going to bite quite as nicely. So what we want to do is use our steel to kind of bring that knife edge back to center. So what I like to do is you want to place one edge on your steel, and you want to match the angle, the bevel of your edge with the steel. And I like to do one edge at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn the knife over, do the exact same thing toward you, being careful. Okay, that's 7 each side, and then we do it again on the other side. This time we do it 6 times. 6 times on the other side, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there you have a properly honed knife. So now let's talk about holding your knife. Now, you want to hold your knife in a way that's comfortable, but also gives you maximum control. And for that, I really like a pinch grip. So I hold the handle like such, and I use my finger and my thumb to grab the top of the blade. And that just gives me really nice control, and the more control you have of your knife, the safer and more efficient it is. Now, as far as getting your knife sharpened, which I would recommend going to someone local that knows what they're doing to sharpen your knives, especially if they're expensive. It really depends on how often you use your knives, but generally speaking, I would say like once a year, I would go and have your knives sharpened. And let me tell you, it makes such a huge difference when you have a freshly sharpened knife. It just makes prep so much easier. Okay, so I think we've covered the knife basics. If there's something that I didn't cover that you want to know about, drop it in the comments. So now, let's get to dicing that onion. First of all, always make sure your onions are nice and fresh. If you pick up an onion and there's some black spots like mold, or there's a little oozing, or there's a mushy spot, forget about it. You want an onion that's nice and firm and has a nice tight skin on it. So next we want to put our onion on its side, take our knife, and we want to cut it right down the middle. Going with the grain. We'll set 1/2 aside, and then lay the onion flat side down. And we're going to just take a little bit off the end, not the root end. We want to keep the root end intact. Next, you can do this with your fingers or your knife. Just kind of peel off that outer skin. Trash that. Now with the root side facing away from you, you're going to take your knife and you're going to just start slicing into it with the grain, but you're going to leave a tiny bit of the onion intact on the root side. And the closer you make these slices will determine how fine your dice is. So again, not cutting all the way through. All right, and then we're going to turn our onion to the side like so, and we're going to cut against the grain. And one thing I did not mention at the beginning is always keep your fingers tucked, okay? So keep those tucked in like that so that you're not chopping your fingers off. Then you can discard the little root end. And if there's anything left, you can just quickly dice that up. And look at that, beautifully diced onion. Now another safety tip, instead of like scooping up whatever you just cut to put it in the pan with your knife, take the whole cutting board and use your knife to scrape it into the pan. Because if you do this, you're in danger of slicing into your hand if you're trying to work quickly or just not really paying attention. And there you have it. And as far as, the whole crying when you cut onions thing, one of the benefits of having a nice sharp knife is that you can dispatch onions much more quickly and not be exposed as long. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And let me know in the comments if you want to see more knife skills or cooking or anything like that for me in the future. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.